Welcome to Pop Chat. My name is Annette Tarpley, and I am the host. And today I have the lovely Gina Carrillo or Black Widow from Tennessee. So good to have you back, Gina.
Thank you so much. I love that intro. I was like dancing to it with all the pictures.
I just got that. I made that with AI, and I was having a really hard time finding some new intro music. I saw you jiving in the background, and I finally found something I could live with. So yeah, it's a little jivey, but it's so good to have you. Been trying to get you back on for a long time. Our schedules always didn't jive, and here you are. So finally got you here.
That's right. It's good to be back. It's been a year or two.
I know.
I'm glad we've stayed in touch, and I see your platform has really grown a lot over the years.
Just since you've been on last time, I think we're probably doubled almost in members. So we're almost 157,000 members. It's crazy.
That is. Wow.
I don't know. One summer a couple of years ago, we went up 30,000 members, and I think 50,000 members in 3 months. It was crazy. I call it the pop factor because I don't know where they come from.
Did you start it? How long ago did you start it?
I started it into the spring of, I think it was the end of May of 2020. So It's 5 years old. It'll be 5 years old this month, actually. Wow. I guess I got to put that up. It's our 5th year anniversary.
Yes.
So
that's when I started performing.
I did it out of spite, I went on somebody's poetry site, as a little poetry site, and she said something, critiqued my poem, and she was the founder, and I thought, fine, I'll just start my own poetry site where people just encourage each other. And so I did it out of spite, and it just kind of exploded. I don't know why it's been so popular, but it has, and I have a great team. Thank you, team, for helping me. So, but more about Gina, the Black Widow, and I want you to tell us more about you. I'm going to give you the spotlight. I want you to tell whatever you want to divulge, and about you, your writing, what you're doing in life. Are you going to school right now?
Yes, I'm at Columbia State Community College in Columbia, Tennessee. I have one more class left this summer, American Literature, and then I will get my degree in psychology, and then I want to move on and keep going to school. I love school, so I've been in and out since I graduated high school, and I just really loved psychology, and I'm learning a lot. I'm taking in-person and online classes. My last class is going to be online only, but I love going in person. That's the best way for me to learn, more hands-on, interactive. So I retired last year from my day job of customer service, and that's how I was able to go to school full-time now.
Great.
And a little bit about me. So I started writing when I was 14, 15 years old, started with diaries, journaling that evolved into poetry. I started getting more heavy into that when I had emotional tragedies in my life, the death of my father, and 3 months later of my husband. My dad died of alcoholism. My husband passed away from sleep apnea in 2010. So I write a lot about overcoming loss and death. Then I also have beaten stage 3 breast cancer. So I write a lot about that. I'm on a 10-year treatment plan. I have 4 years left of chemo. So over halfway through that, but I'm feeling great. My checkups went wonderful. I've also been in multiple domestic violence situations. I'm still going to therapy at Bridges of Williamson County for domestic violence. So I also write about that. I write about love and loss and strength and resilience.
Wow. You said that about domestic violence, and I haven't really been on the physical part of it. It's always been emotional, psychological part of it. But I recently had written a great song. It's one of my favorite songs, and it's called No Hands of Love, and it's about domestic violence. It's really powerful. It's kind of R&B-ish, it's a great song. So I'll have to share it with you.
Send that to me. Yeah.
I will share it with you. It's a great one. We have one comment. Let's see who's commenting out there. So we have, look who's joined us. Henry. Hey, Henry.
Hi, Henry.
Our friend who opened the door.
So
Yeah,
is yours. I love your poetry and art as well.
he recently came on my team as an admin, which Henry's invaluable to me in many ways. He's just become a dear friend who um, I like. You probably have listened to words of wisdom from Henry and gotten some, I
Yes,
mean,
it's fun
Henry's just
performing with him.
yes, he's just a wonderful man. So,
He's
and we have
very
Angie.
interactive.
We have Angie.
Hey, Angie, how are you?
He took over for Rawl, who we still miss very much and
Oh,
miss him every day. So, hey, Angie, thank you for joining us. And so, what I want you to do is let's go ahead and start with some of your poetry because I really want to hear a lot of it. You're so wonderful. You're a wonderful spoken word artist, and you just do such a great job. So I am anxious to hear you because I haven't heard you for a long time, girl, probably since the last time you were on. So
I know, right?
let me
Okay,
give
well, I
this.
did tell you, I actually have 2 new pieces that I'm going to debut today on your show. The first one is called Shattered Stars. This one I got tagged on Instagram by Kimberly McAfee. If you know her Insta name is Writer Poet Kim. And I actually published her in my anthology book that I published. And she always tags me in word prompts or picture prompts. So this one, the prompt was Shattered Stars from Wolfpack Prompts by Cry Wolf Poetry. And so I haven't even posted it yet. This is the first time anybody's hearing it.
I'll have to tell you, your book is Kaleidoscope. And 2 or 3 years ago, I decided that was going to be the name of my book. My next book was Kaleidoscope. It's funny that we picked the same name.
I
So
love that
I
name.
won't use that. I won't use that. I think was going to go to Poetry Menageries or something like that,
Ooh, I love that too.
we're
I
on the
have
same.
another book. My anthology book is called Poets United. And that's the one that Kimberly's published in. I got 51 poets from around the world. I published that with co-author Eric Shellman. And so that was my second book. And my third book's done. I just have to format it. That one's going to be called Stained Glass Mosaics of Light.
Wow. We pick a lot of the same names. I think maybe because we're artsy, because mosaics is another thing I use a lot of. I've written about, that's in one of my titles, mosaic. I think it's mosaics in my mind. I can't remember, but yeah, I think we must be both in the same little wavelength there. But let me give
right? I love it. Creative minds thinking alike.
Yeah, and I want you to share. Now, after you're done, share your poetry. I do want to share one. I usually do the dual thing where we both write on the same title, but today I didn't have time to do it. But I want to share one that puts me in mind of you, and I'll explain why later. So I'm going to give the stage to you.
I'll do this first one, Shattered Stars. The second one's going to be Wanderlust, my 2 newest pieces. So Shattered Stars. These tattered scars left from when I was covered in feather and tars, sitting and writing these bars, trying so hard to open all these jars. Shattered stars still radiate burnt chars, black hole circling like racing cars, spinning, evolving, eventually winning, taking a sip, smiling and grinning. Thank you for listening. So this next piece is called Wanderlust, and I actually just got back from traveling to Pensacola Beach. Unfortunately, it was for a funeral. A family friend who was like an uncle to me passed away, and so I took my mom out there. But I did get to spend some time sightseeing and go to the ocean and beach. So this one's called Wanderlust. The insatiable need to be free, wandering wherever the sea takes me, feeling a yearning to roam, picking up my roots and fleeing my known home, wanderlust, shaking the dust off my skin, releasing the strength held once deep within, The ocean is calling my name. It pulls me closer like a moth to a flame. The waves caress my soul. The water surrounds with waves, enveloping my being, making me whole. A feeling of freedom and escape from my everyday world, wanting to make this more than just a vacation destination. Traveling makes me alive, living and not wanting to die. Dancing on the boardwalk, intellectual wine talks as the beat makes you sway. You're fully enjoying this day. All you want to do is stay, living it up your own way, yearning to explore more, wanting to go through new doors. Wanderlust carries me away.
Marvelous, marvelous. So when you said earlier, I know that you're going into psychology. What eventually are you going to get your degree in?
So I want to help do domestic violence therapy. So my degree will be in psychology to help with that, since I've gone almost 6 years now through different types of therapy. I definitely have experience with that.
Yeah, I have. I was a forensic nurse examiner for over 15 years. So I dealt with hundreds and hundreds of victims of domestic violence. I've heard so many stories, provided comfort to many of them. And so it's always been a near and dear subject to my heart as well, as far as, that's concerned. And I'm supposed to be involved in the near future in a domestic violence documentary a friend of mine's doing. So, but kudos to you, because it is, and the thing is you'll be so effective at it and wonderful at it because you've lived it. Mm-hmm. And, we all have purpose here, and you certainly, that is a great purpose for you, is to be able to embrace those that you can relate with, that yours will be very heartfelt when you've gone through it. So, did I hear a little hairy puppy back there? A dog? You got a dog back there?
I have my dogs, Baby and Scarfy. I put them in the guest room. Well, they're in 2 separate guest rooms right now, so they're separated. But yeah, they were crying. You might hear them.
Mine are out, which I should have put them in the bathroom, and I didn't do that. So please forgive my dogs if they'll just kind of be doing a shout out. We should have just had them part of the show, I guess.
So yeah, they're extra. If they hear me talking to someone, they'll get louder.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I locked them in
the room. Yeah, they want to have their say. So I wrote this poem a while back when I had a guest on. And the thing I love about you, you're such a wonderful person, but I love that you have your own swag, your own expression. You express yourself with how you look, how you dress, your makeup. And I always just think it's very cool how you artistically express yourself, not only with your poetry, but having, your own swag. You do your thing, girl. And I love that about you, that I think everybody should do their own thing and whatever makes them comfortable. But when I did this interview with this particular poet, she had a different kind of lifestyle, and she came up with the title, which was "I Don't Fit in Your Box." And so, yeah. So I think about this. You'll know why once I start reading it. But this kind of reminds me a little bit of you. And when I did it kind of like I was her, So anyway, I don't fit into your box. I tried for so long to conform, to fit in the box that society has labeled the norm. In my vain efforts, I somehow lost myself. Confusion knocked at my door. I lost my reflection. For the person gazing back at me in the mirror was a stranger, barely resembling my former self. Hairstyle acceptable. No trendy dude to raise eyebrows. An insight, unwanted comments. My clothing, much the same. I detested it, for it did not reflect my own quirky taste in fashion. It was boring, and I would no longer stick out in the crowd or raise eyebrows. I liked raising eyebrows. I liked turning heads. I liked making fashion into a trendy, clothed art form. My makeup was conservative. I now look like the others, a cookie cutter face of complacency. In trying to conform to societal norms, I found me beneath the layers of deceptive disguise. The liberation that I gained in my discovery was profound, and the enlightenment was my reward. For you see, I do not need to change myself. I need to be free to be who I am, not who you want me to be. In releasing myself from the deceptive bonds, I have reached the clarity of my own reality. It is more important that I can free myself from the puppeteer of conformity. I embrace the real me, and I don't give a flip if I don't fit into your box. There you go.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I love that.
Yeah,
So
but
much.
that reminds me of you, because I think, to be different than everyone is a great thing, and I think we all need to be individual and express ourselves, but not everybody embraces that, and that's what I love about you. I just, you do your thing, and I love that about you. So,
Oh, thank you. You have so many good lines in there. Like that. I like the lost my reflection, that you were turning the makeup into the art form, and that you didn't want to be cookie cutter, and that you found yourself, and free who I am, not who you wanted me to be. I also did a poem called Puppeteer that was similar, or Marionette. It was about a puppeteer. But I write a lot of stuff like that.
okay, you know what, girl, we are on the same way. I have a song called "The Dance of the Marionette."
Oh my
I swear that we kind of go along the same lines of things. So
We're soul sisters.
yeah, actually, if you want to share that, that would be great. I would love to
Oh,
hear
let
it
me
if you
see if
have
I
it
can
available.
find that one.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I think that's so
Yeah, I
weird.
really
Wow.
saw myself in that piece. Definitely. I recently, like, I write the flippant quotes I try to post every day. And I wrote a few kind of like that. My most recent one was like, I want to be comfortable. I'm not going to make myself feel uncomfortable to make you comfortable. So it's kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a time in our life when we reach a mature level where we just kind of embrace who we are and we love who we are. And, like my dad used to say, he always used to say, you'll find in life that most people like you, and the people who don't matter. So,
I
anyway,
love
you
that.
should
I
love
found
you
it.
because you are wonderful. You got the
I
stage, girl.
found Marionette. Okay. Pulling too quick. Evil puppet master, whatever way you want to go, don't even have to ask her. Continuing to go even faster, playing with the marionette. Sinister plans I'll never forget. Trying to hold strings of life like a mistreated pet. A hand puppet worked from above, hanging by a thread. Attached to the limbs, would it be better to be dead? A sleight of your hand moving, I tried to cower away. Loving you was a lie, nose growing when I tried. No excuses, life is meant to be fun. You're not supposed to hurt anyone. No one should lose. It can't be only do it your way. It didn't matter what you say, you didn't care. This wasn't the dance of life, always crying behind my skin, intensely hurting from within. Not fair, not right. What a waste of time. Was naive, gullible, and blind. Now I can see it was a detrimental experience. I have a voice to be heard, moves I will make by myself. I'm out and loud and proud. The world we leave behind, sometimes cruel and unkind, searching for an ageless connection. This may be my own reflection. I will not forsake my dreams for any means. You made my daily routine wildly uncomfortable. I'll wear what I care to, dance my own way when I want, any day. Only my desires will be satisfied. I'm looking in the mirror with pride. It must be a DNA thing. Do not attempt to play with me. No longer your puppet on a string. Pull me and I won't sing. I'm flying free happily. I'm a dream girl who doesn't give up. I'm sure you still try to grasp at those strings. Cries of others you never hear, you evil puppeteer. Now I'm smiling, cackling with laughter, chasing my dreams I was always after.
Love it. That was great. I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
So when you write, how long does it take you usually? Like, how long would it have taken you on average to write a piece like that length?
Sometimes it comes really fast and it just kind of flows through me until I finish it. So it might just be a couple hours. I have spent in-depth time on some like research pieces. Like I have a Native American piece, a Holocaust piece, different things I want to research and do more historical. So those may take me a month. So yeah, it just kind of depends.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that. I think that there was only maybe a couple poems I've written that I did research on. One of them was the Statue of Liberty, and the other one was, I think it's called Dal Lake in India. Somebody wanted me to write about that, which I knew nothing about. So research, it's almost like, when you write a novel and you have to do research and find out more information about the subject matter. So,
Yeah, I did that with the Shattered Stars because I wanted to learn more about them, and so I like Googled it, and that's how I got the words where I put burnt chars and that about the black hole circling because there's shattered stars in the black hole and about them spinning. So I kind of looked into that.
yeah, that's cool. Actually, I think that's neat that you do that. Have you ever written outside of poetry? Have you done short stories as well, or any other types of
Um,
writing?
I have not done any. Not since I was a teenager. I had written like a book about the ocean and lifeguard. I've always been into the ocean. I'm hopefully going to move to the beach early next year is the plan.
Which beach are
So
you going to move to? Where are you going to move?
I'm thinking about Pensacola Beach or maybe Spain or Italy.
Look at you.
Yes. So
Wow. Well,
looking
make
at
sure if you do go there and you go there to live that I get an invite. So
yes, definitely come visit me. I'm excited about that. My boyfriend Leonardo, he was born in Uruguay, but he grew up in Spain and Italy, so he has family and knows people out there.
oh, cool. So that's the connection there. Wow.
Yes,
So it will be totally foreign to you. Do you know any Spanish or do you know any Italian?
yes, I speak Spanish. Pretty fluent in Spanish. I grew up speaking both languages.
Mm.
And I have my mom and my brother out here, so they're gonna move with us.
Oh,
So that's the
wow.
family, my close family I have.
That's really cool. I bet. So I'm sure you've been there already to visit, at least, right?
Yes, I've been to Spain. Me and my mom went. I haven't been to Italy yet, but
And
I'm looking forward to new changes.
I imagine your poetic juices will really just start taking off when you get over
Yes,
there.
I
Yeah.
love reading poetry and writing on the beach or painting on the beach.
You
That'd be
paint
great
too?
inspiration.
That's really cool. You don't
I
have
do.
any pieces.
I've
You don't
done
have any pieces.
live art, live art and poetry shows or painting parties. I taught art out here, like the paint and sip parties. It was a dream job. It was amazing.
I wish you lived closer. Gosh. You're by Nashville, right?
Yes, I'm
Nashville?
about an hour outside of Nashville right now. I grew up in Franklin. I was born in Michigan, but we moved to Franklin when I was like 5 years old. And then I just
Mm,
moved further south to be closer to my family. They live about 5 minutes away across the street, so it's nice.
great. So we got a couple of so much energy dripping and overflowing, a cup of creativity from Henry, indeed.
Oh, I like that.
Angie writes, your poems are dynamic, rhythmic, and compelling. And yes, they are. And Angie, I did not know you were in Tennessee. So she's in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Okay, I've been to a show
Yeah.
out there in Clarksville.
One of these days soon, I want to go to Gatlinburg and do a trip because I need one soon. Even
Yeah,
if I
it's a
have to
lot
go by
of fun
myself.
out
My birthday is coming up in July. A couple years ago, I rented a cabin. I was by myself, but at least I went somewhere and did something. So,
there. Yeah, I love traveling by myself. I really do.
well, it's a little boring for me because everywhere I go, there I am. So can't get away from me. Um, but just turn around, bam, there I am. So, so, I mean, I love me, but, sometimes you'd like someone else's amusing thoughts and talk around other than
Well,
yourself. So,
I meet a lot
um,
of people just going to restaurants or bars and sitting up there writing poetry. I'll grab me a drink, a mimosa or some wine, write poetry, and then I meet lots of people.
I do too. If I go out, I've never met a stranger, so I go out. Sometimes I take my bracelets and I make and just hand them out and give them to people, and they're like, "Oh." So Angie says it's more fun with grandkids. Um, I don't know if I'm going to go. Well, yeah, I want to take a vacation with them someday, but if I'm going to go for peace and quiet, probably wouldn't take my grandkids. But that's me.
I got to
That's
work on having kids before I can have grandkids.
yeah. I love my grandkids, but they're a handful. So I probably would just want a nice, luxurious mountainous view, and chill in a hot tub while I'm looking at it. So that would be great.
Yeah.
She says her grandkids are fun. Well, mine are fun too, but still, it wears grandma out. I'm just not used to being around them because, they live a little ways away. So when you, how often do you write?
So recently, I mean, I just wrote these 2 new pieces in the last 2 weeks. So I've been able to have the time to write more because I'm on spring break. So I go back to school next week. But when I wasn't in school, I was writing a lot. I was really active in the poetry community. Nashville's like a hub out here. So I do the Middle Tennessee open mics and shows and events like our calendar. And there's opportunities to perform every night. So just going to a show and performing, that kind of inspires you and motivates you to write more. And so it keeps the wheel turning. But sometimes I just need to have some downtime. And that's when I can really write, not being so busy.
Yeah, it definitely is difficult when you're busy. So that's for sure. So I am going to give the stage to you again. Share, 2 or 3 more pieces, and then we'll come back and chat a little bit more.
Awesome. Sounds good. This next piece I'll do for you is called Disturbed. And it's a piece about Frankenstein and how I relate to him and what I went through in beating stage 3 breast cancer and how I felt like a science experiment. Usually I play music with it. So just think of Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. That's the song I usually play with this. Silent raindrops fell like tears outside the castle. I'm aching for you. Whisper away my anxieties. Imagine hearing you in my head. Darkness consumes, fire burning, foggy fumes. Thoughts of a better life cracking through my skin. Experiences I want to have more. They're talking about me, town people knocking at the door, not understanding my needs aren't that demanding. Looking on to broader horizons, people try to kill what they do not know, also try to bring back alive something that had died. Don't create me, make me feel so real, then turn your scared head. I'm undaunted. I wasn't the one that wanted to be brought back, haunted, not like this. Now they wonder about how I act. This isn't what I thought. Can't blame me for how I react. Your experiment was unsuccessfully simulated. Still some unconscious flesh not stimulated. This operation not quite like the illustration raised from the dead. There are crevices in my soul that can't be sealed with a kiss. Mended memories of my past remain. This new life is just not right. What others experience is just not the same. Raised up with the tragic lightning, my appearance now very frightening. Who could love such sorrow creatures with bloody, messy features, just painfully stitched together? Is there someone out there like me? Finding them would calm my fears. Wishing with these franken tears, just hoping and dreaming. Sometimes I'm concerned, will I ever really learn? I'm just a zombie, walking, cheated death, still talking about this strange new world. Inside, internally perturbed, unsettled, and just disturbed. Thank you.
Great. Loved it. Loved it. Wow. Powerful.
Thank you so much. I do love that piece. The next one I'll do is my domestic violence piece. This is one of my most popular signature pieces. written, and it's about my experiences and what I went through in my past relationship. There are still holes in the walls, one above my bed from where you threw something at my head. There was one in the door that you punched so hard the frame cracked all the way to the floor. It's still not like before. It will never be the same. All because you got caught in a lie. You wanted me to die. I would stay quiet and just pacify. I would crawl into a ball and make myself small. You tried to drown me. I still have bruises from it all. And the words you spewed sounded like it came straight from Satan. I do not fear the devil because I already dated him. You used to ball up your fists and yell and spit. Poison seeped through my skin. Acid permeated throughout my body. The pain pervaded and I was intensely hurting within. Years passed by and your tormenting grew worse. I forgave and I tried again and I wanted to see the best in you. How do you go on without trust? I felt like I was stuck in the mud with Stockholm syndrome, trauma bonded to you. When I opened my mouth, I couldn't shout. I dreamt of getting out. This is a poem that hurts to write it. I could barely get through it. And abuse is not a strong enough word to describe it. But I'm finally able to see through my tears. I conquered all my fears. You tried to clip my wings and put shackles on my feet. And I looked out the window and I hoped to flying again. But I starved for your red flags like they were a bouquet of bloody roses. Now my PTSD haunts me like a past life. I survived. There are still ashes floating around from where you tried to burn me. But like a phoenix, I rise. These scars and cracks are now filled with gold. I'm stronger now, and this is my story to be told. When I tried to eat, you would knock food out of my hand, but yet you were like a creature attracted to my light, like a parasite. You tried to suck out my flame to fill your hollow emptiness you had inside. And it seems like you kept coming for me, just reincarnated yourself to look differently. I finally decided I had enough. This cycle has finally ended. I came out on the other side. I'm getting used to lower tides. You could not rob me of my sparkling existence. It still shines brightly, although there are nightmares of you that terrorize me nightly. When I wake up, I remember I'm happy and free, wings spread wide. I now stand tall. I got through it all, but I left that one hole in my wall to remember to never let my heart fall like that again. Is it because I'm a widow forever? Is it because of my broken heart? Is it because of my love of spiders, remembering Esmeralda, my pet? I've named all the ones I've met. My poetry may be dark at times, but there's a lot of love in these lines. Sometimes in the darkness, you see flashes of red or black. Remember this, they're not all waiting to attack. This is why they call me Black Widow. Thank you.
That was great. That was great. So I was noticing your delivery of that was wonderful. As Angie says, Angie's making some comments. Thanks, Angie, for coming in and participating. So your delivery is awesome. She said, "You go, Phoenix. We are both a Phoenix. Exactly. Rise above it." So yeah, love that. I had a poet friend that did I was trying to remember the name of it. A poem for me that she wrote for me about the Phoenix rising type thing. But I noticed that when you were doing that and you're performing it, and you do such an excellent job, that it looks like you have like most of it, if not all of it, just to memory.
Yes, I have about 5 pieces, signature pieces I have memorized that I can just do at shows.
And that one's amazing. I have one that's my signature piece that is about 3.5, 4 minutes long, but it's a lot to memorize that. And not only that, but perform it in the way that you do, because not everyone, is able to do what you do as far as really perform it and, do the spoken word artist you are. So you're an artist.
Yeah, it took. My memory is not good. So if I haven't memorized, I probably practiced it hundreds of times to get it memorized. And also that piece took me a long time to get through it without crying. Now I still get emotional on stage and sometimes I'll lose my words or start to cry. So it still happens, but it does take me a long time to memorize pieces.
I bet even if you do that, though, the audience is very receptive and warm and understanding, and it's just part of it. I bet they
Yes.
understand, yeah, that whole thing.
Definitely. Everyone has their moments, even the slam poets, everyone has messed up. And as long as you just keep going, nobody knows that you missed a whole phrase or word or stanza. Nobody even knows. As long
Yeah,
as you just keep it going.
you can just keep ad-libbing and going, yeah, which is an art form in and of itself. To be able to do that takes a lot to be able to do that. So I probably asked you this question when you were here last time, but I'm going to ask it again, and I'll have to go back and look at your other interview and see if your answer changed. You can remind me whether or not I asked it. It is the famous Aladdin's lamp thing. Tomorrow you come across Aladdin's lamp and you are granted 3 wishes. You can wish for anything that you want. It doesn't have to be, it can be selfish. It can be whatever you want. What 3 things would you wish for?
Oh, I'm not sure if you asked me this before.
Oh,
Maybe you
surprise, surprise.
maybe you did. I actually don't need 3 wishes because I've accomplished all my dreams. I wanted to be a spoken word artist. I wanted to be an author and write a poetry book. Next up on my list is moving to the beach. I wanted to, after I retire, move to the beach. I have a wonderful boyfriend. Next up, hopefully beach and kids. That's my goals, but I don't need to dream because I work hard and I make all my dreams come true. So I don't need wishes. I actually need to add more to my bucket list.
I think that is the best answer I've ever gotten, actually.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. It's an amazing answer. Best answer I've ever gotten to that question.
Oh, I love that. I started doing my bucket list when I found out I had cancer and was going through all that. Like last year, I went skydiving. I just started doing all the things because why wait? I do it now.
Yeah. You jumped out of a perfectly good plane. Did you?
I did. I'd do it again. It was a lot of fun.
Did it take a lot of gumption to do that? Did someone have to push out, or you just kind of went for it?
I didn't even tell my mom until I landed, and then I called my mom because she would have freaked out. But the scariest part is right before you jump when you're going up in the plane. But then when you jump, it's just like for a moment, the wind's kind of crazy, but then you're free falling. And at 14,000 feet, I did my little Black Widow piece that I just did for you. So I recited a poem. I was a tandem fly, so I had this guy, Spider-Man, on my back. He had all spider stuff, so it was perfect because I had spider stuff on. And yeah, I did a poem up in the air, and it was amazing.
That's the best story I've ever heard, too, that you did a poem up in the air when you were, free falling down to the earth. How cool was that? Wow. So could the person you were in tandem with, could he even hear you or not?
He was on a microphone, so other people down on the ground could hear me.
Oh, cool. That is great. I love that. Where you kind of like, was the wind in you, you're kind of like, whoa, like, when you're talking, you kind of sound.
Well, it's only like that at first, and then you're just kind of gliding, and it's just nice. Yeah, you should definitely try it. There's a place out here in Tullahoma, about an hour from me.
Did you end the poem after you landed, or was it before you landed that you actually
It was before. It was in the air. It's just a short piece. I had my best friend down on the ground taking pictures because she didn't want to go.
Wow. That is so cool. I love that. I'll never forget that picture in my head of you. I won't. I've got it. It's embedded in my mind right now. I think that is great.
What were your wishes?
I don't remember. I got interviewed a couple times by Jill Tate, who's one of my administrators. She wanted to interview me. We did a repeat a few months ago, and it was a different kind of interview because she asked harder questions, and one of the questions she asked was those 3 things. But I think 2 of mine were, I know one of mine is this, and it will always be this, and it's I would like to spend one more day with my loved ones that are gone. Just one more day to tell them I love them, to how much they mean to me, how much they impacted me, and what difference they made in my life. Because I think when people go out of your life, there are things that were unsaid that you wish you would have said. Today is actually the anniversary of my dad and brother's death. They were killed. It was actually on a Friday, May 23rd, 1980. I just graduated from high school, and they were killed in a small plane crash, a fiery plane crash. And I remember writing a poem. It wasn't my first poem, but I wrote a poem that was kind of religious based, and they read it at the funeral. But my dad had a very influential part in me. But this is the last image I have of my dad, was him pulling away in his station wagon, doing the I love you sign. So it's a great, last memory of my father, and forever in my heart. So yeah, so this is kind of, one of those days. I need to write a poem. My first song I wrote was about my dad, but I need to write something today and kind of release some stuff. But we all have loss, like you've had loss. You just said that did you say your father died, and then shortly after that, your husband died?
Yes. My dad died in 2009 from alcoholism, and then my husband from sleep apnea 3 months later in 2010.
Wow. And you must have been so young.
Yeah, I was 26. He was 27.
Wow. And do you feel like poetry helped you overcome that dark period in your life?
Most definitely. It's very therapeutic and stress relieving, and I was able to get out, turn a lot of the pain into poetry and get it out.
Yeah. So what you're doing too, what you're doing as far as what you're picking for career, I did psychiatry for a lot of time during my nurse practitioner role. I've done lots of different things. I'm board certified in family medicine, but I've done a lot of psychiatry, and I would always tell people to funnel their energies into something positive instead of destructive. Take the anxiety and funnel into something creative like poetry or making something. And several people would do that. I think it's a great way for them to kind of take that energy and move it into something that's productive, and they can have something to show for it. So and you'll be able to teach it. There should be some kind of a poetry therapy thing that you can do,
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah.
I love teaching art. So I definitely do poetry workshops.
It's word art. It's word art. So go ahead and share some more of your pieces. Now, you said that did you say that you were working on the manuscript for your next one, or?
The next book's pretty much done. I just have to do some formatting. So that'll be Stained Glass Mosaics of Light. And I hope to put more art in that. I do my covers of all my books is my art. I do impressionist painting, acrylic on canvas. So I hope to put more art in that book as well.
Kudos to you that you're so talented. I wasn't standing enough lines when God was handing out all the talents. So I must have been sleeping or something. So I'm going to give the stage back to you and share a couple more pieces.
Okay, so I have my book Kaleidoscope here. That's my painting, Highway to Your Dreams. It's actually a huge painting that's in my living room right now. So this is broken pieces put back together beautifully. I'm just going to pick a piece from here to read. Let's see. So I did the holes in the wall piece is in this book. There's one I want to read called The Cloud, Dark Cloud. So this one is one of the first pieces I wrote after I was going through the time trying to overcome the deaths of my father and husband that passed away. So this is called Dark Cloud. Once you were on cloud 9, smiling all the time. The years weren't counted. Numbers had no value to you. Planning for the future was easy. Now you're constantly pulling, trying to keep all the pieces together. They might see the cracks. Do they see the light that shines through? Are they cut by the hard edges? To take that risk, you will end up seeing you have to let them, even if you don't want to. Now there is a dark cloud that has formed. It is above, below, all around, and it consumes you. Broken, never healing. It affects your mind, thinking about death all the time. It does not heal wounds. You heal wounds yourself. Your family and friends try to understand what can they do or say to make the pain go away. Without them, would you be alive this day? Did you think about ending it all? Because you felt like you died inside, or you were drowning your sorrows in a sweet liquid or some other substance? Did you go therapeutic shopping? Were you social? Or did you think about traveling the world, living your bucket list now? What did you do when it felt like you were struggling to breathe? You are in this darkness. There is now this depression that floats all around you and makes you try to get away. You can't run or hide. This way of thinking is now part of your everyday being. What ifs, what could have been, questions consume you, always wondering, contemplating life. My dreams are your nightmares. I wake up thinking about what reality is. What is this lucidness referencing to me? Would Poe have felt like this? His words are experienced by my soul. They pierce through my heart. Tick tock, tick tock. Time is all you think about now. It's raining granules of sand. I'm trying to grasp them with my hands as they run through my fingertips. Where are they going? Why can't they just stop for a moment and get suspended in the air so I can stay for a moment and let it linger on my lips? Could we be frozen in time? We are struggling in this hourglass, trying to break free, climbing but slipping and sliding back down. Let me out, scarred for life from the cloud.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. I wrote that about a picture. The last picture I think my husband drew was of an hourglass, and I had drawn people in it. So that was kind of the image that came to me.
That was your inspiration. Cool.
Yes. Let's see. I'm going to read now another piece. Let's do Shoreline. This one I think I did read on the beach with the waves going. Shoreline. As the moon pulls my thoughts up through my head, the water rushes waves into motion. Into the ocean it pours. As it lets out, my heart soars. The white crest represents my innocent, everlasting love, the power of the wave, my internal passion. Sunrise or sunset, which will it be? Will my feelings be washed away at sea? When will we be free? Will our emotions consume our minds? Will we run out of time? Will our love continue to grow as grapes on a vine with an aftertaste as sweet as wine? Will it end if it reaches the shoreline? As the wake dies down, will there be another, this time bigger than the other? What if the last is not entirely in the past? Can we find that same wake again? So that one's about falling in love.
I'm snapping my fingers, but I'm not a good snapper, so you probably can't hear it. But go ahead and do a couple more.
Okay, so let's see. Weeping Widow.
Angie made a comment. Here you go. Your word structure has great imagery, and writing on the beach is awesome, especially at night. Yes, indeed.
I would need to try at night. I haven't done it at night yet.
Well, there you go. That's your next thing you can do.
I will do that next time I'm at the beach. This one's Weeping Widow. They say that tears are love with nowhere to go. But is it grief that rolls down your face, your hair now wet from streaming, flashbacks of all the good times, remembering pure happiness, crying out loud until you cannot breathe, sniffling and then deeply inhaling? Have you ever really lived unless you have loved? If one can be this sad, it is because they have felt what it is to be truly happy. That is this life's beautiful tragedy, to feel true bliss and then it be lost through your fingertips. Now I'm swaying in the air, hearing echoes of love through the wind, but I remain always a weeping widow.
Beautiful. Love that. Have you ever really lived if you haven't loved? Is that what you said?
That is what I said.
Love that. Love
yeah,
that.
I think about that a lot since I lost my husband, and no one can really understand what that's like. and they've gone through it. But even if we were only together for a short time, I wouldn't take anything back. I just wish we could have found each other sooner so we could have loved each other longer. But his personality and his life and soul lives on through me.
Indeed. That's so cool.
So this next piece, Warrior Cry. This is one of the pieces I wrote when I was going through my journey of beating cancer. I did the Frankenstein piece that I did earlier. I actually gave that to my plastic surgeon, and I gave him a copy of the anthology book that I was published in with that piece. So that was amazing to be able to do that. Warrior Cry. What if trauma made you grow? Inside me, you tried to kill me, but I'm a fighter, not a quitter. You heard my shout when I said, get the hell out. I didn't let you in too deep. I win. I beat you like a piñata. Blessings fell out. My love and support were astounding. This is such a beautiful pain, a time of transformation. I wake up thankful to live. My strength heard my inner warrior cry. I don't want to die just yet. I danced with death. It got scared away. I feel the wind as I fly free. Storming weather can't ruffle my feathers. I love my scars. I fought this war my way. As tears stream down my face, the paint stays. I'm now in a wonderful place. Whatever this world may bring, now I know that my soul can survive anything.
Beautiful. Is there a certain poem that you would like to recite kind of as your exit poem? Is there one that you want to leave people with?
Yes. Well, I have a couple options. I'll let you pick that I haven't done yet.
Read them both. Just read them both. Read them both.
Oh, okay. So I'll do a couple more of my signature pieces. We have one called Widow in the Dark, and we have one called Bewitched. We also have Sapio Feeling. So I'm going to let you pick two. Sapio Feeling is about being attracted to someone's intelligence. Bewitched is a magical, mystical piece about witches, and Widow in the Dark is about me and death and what I went through.
How about the first two you mentioned?
Okay, we'll do Widow in the Dark and Bewitched.
And then Angie has a comment. Do you see it? Everyone should hear that poem, I Do Relate.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I will do Widow in the Dark first. Dreamt of you again, seemed so real. Intimacy relived, warmth of an embrace, feeling your face, touching your skin, true happiness within, reaffirming that you'll never leave. Please stay always there, yet I'm deeply bereaved. You will only remain in my hourglass, bits and pieces of diamond-like sand, glistening like stars in the night sky, twinkling, always reminding me why I'm left grasping onto a memory, and it is slipping through my hand. Keeping ashes and silver jewelry, once always worn every day. Heaviness still fills me in every way. Past pictures put away now. I'm unable to look at them for long. I still don't know how. It just hurts too much when I hear a song and such. Looking at quotes on a windowsill, still feeling an emptiness inside. Overwhelming constant rain on a daily life. Tears are hard to contain. Moving forward, trying to sustain. Remaining just a widow in the dark. Weaving webs to comfort the loneliness inflicted. Teetering on the edge of sanity. Intense suffering to undergo. Imagining at times that I'm not injured. How much can a soul withstand? There is a tragic prolonging. Questions consume, eating away inside my head. Why am I left alive when you are dead?
Wow, powerful. And Angie has a comment. To all those who have lost someone special. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Angie, for being so interactive. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for your comments. So this next piece, Bewitched, I wanted to write a powerful piece. I get asked a lot if I'm a witch or Wiccan, which I am not. I just love Gothic attire. I started dressing more Gothic when I became Black Widow, which I started using my stage name when I started performing in 2020. And I started being able to feel like my true authentic self because I grew up highly religious. And on top of that, I was in and out of abusive relationships and I could never find myself. I was lost. And I feel like being able to be a spoken word artist and become an author, and I'm able to finally find my style and my freedom and be my true self. So this piece I kind of wrote about mystical, magical witches. I do have, usually when I'm on stage, I have different music created from musicians from different pieces. These 5 pieces I have, they all have music. So I'll usually send it to the DJ or whoever the host is to play the music in the background. So just imagine like enchanting music playing. Fear not the witches, but those that burn them alive, jealous of them taking power from the earth without poisoning the soil, more entertaining being the magical enchantress than the helpless princess who couldn't toil, although widowed, alone, talking to animals. However, embodied with the power of a sorceress, call me a necromancer, watch me sparkle outside with pride, curious on how I dress, it's the true me, not to impress, the words I write wanting to gain some insight. Asking me if I might be a complex hex left you perplexed. They tried to drown us while worshiping God will not be put down. Head held high with a flower crown. Dancing under the pale moonlight with those that fill my heart. Prodigal poets tribe consistently giving me the strength to keep on. Can you hear this enchanting song? Insides formed from the sands melted together from when I was scorched at the stake, from those that wanted to take bewitched wounds sewn together with dark thread, she-devil stitched, made a new life for myself while embracing haunting nightmares. Will you wake up scared of what you did? It will not be hid. Come for me again. Hear sounds of a screaming woman that can't be submerged. Shadows cast of the southern skinwalkers from the woods emerged, just misunderstood. Moonlights of those eyes, glow in the dark battle axe, arrows of defense, it all makes sense. Such a sight to be seen. From the darkness emerges the queen. Let those realize inside the past storybooks all have lies. This world is full of monsters with friendly, judgmental faces that go to church on Sundays, and there are scarred and tattooed angels wearing eclectic clothes, gravitating close to those. This may be the day that you learn I'm the descendant of the witch you weren't able to burn.
I remember that one now. I think you performed that one a couple of years ago. I remember it because of the cackle in the end. You know,
I laugh a lot at the end of my pieces.
Yeah,
I'll laugh or I'll say thank you, but I usually giggle.
It's a great piece, and I think it really brings out kind of the hypocrisy that we see a lot of times in religion, which I kind of grab onto sometimes as well. So Angie also says, I saw you when you performed one Sunday at Mo's house. Who's Mo?
Oh, okay. We did a pop-up poetry event. And Mo was with the Nashville Po Boys and Poets. And so we had a couple different poetry groups. We had Just Salt Poetry as well, the Prodigal Poets and Po Boys and Poets, and we all performed outside. And there was like a bonfire. We had a potluck. It was a beautiful day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wish I lived closer to y'all. I probably only about 4 hours, and Angie says, yep. So yep. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, I can't tell you how happy I was that you finally came back on. I was so excited that you were coming back on and sharing, and I could hear your wonderful poetry again. And of course, you're an artist, a true artist, and your ability to perform, and you just do it so well. So it's always such a pleasure. And I'm hoping now before you move out of the country, let me know so I can see you before we can do something where we can see each other before you move, across the ocean to where I can't swim that far. So I
Oh,
think my
thank you.
life preserver would, So, but it's been a true pleasure, and you're wonderful. You've accomplished so much, and you have the best answer yet to the Aladdin home,
That's
and that
awesome.
you don't even
That's
need it.
great. You don't need wishes if you make your own dreams come true. Work hard and you can do it. You can accomplish anything.
It is the best answer ever. So, there should be some type of award that I give you for that. Let me think on it. But thank you so much. Your wonderful inside and out. Your beautiful soul with beautiful poetry and lots of things to say, and that really people can relate to, that have been through the sorrows and the things that you have been through. So thank you so much. I
Thank
really
you very much. It was wonderful. It's been a great time. I love you and your poetry. Send me DMs. I want to hear more of it and your
I
new songs.
will. I will. So love and blessings to everyone.
Yes,
And
love you.
yeah, and love and blessings, and everyone stay safe. Please feel free to share the talents of Gina with others at Black Widow. And thank you for those of you who joined us. Take care, everybody. Love and blessings. Until we meet again next time. Bye.